Hi everybody, Jeff Lehman here, CEO of Dirty Hands, Happy Heart. We're a nonprofit shop class for kids. Since 2019, we've been bringing in old trucks and cars and working with these kids and teaching them how to get their hands dirty, be creative, problem solve, all while restoring these vehicles. So I'll get more into the vehicle side of it and show you some of the projects, but tonight I wanted to start off with a project that I've been working on. It's a 1975 Scout 2. It's kind of, my project on the side to keep me fresh, keep me working in the shop, learning new things, trying new things, so that I'm able to pass that on to the kids that we're working with. And tonight, I'll show you the project of putting some KC HiLites headlights, high-low beams, DOT approved, into this Scout 2. There's a little bit of modification. I've already done one, so I kind of know what I'm doing, and I figured I was ready to do a video about it. It's a good addition, and let me show you what I got going on. KC HiLites 7-inch gravity LED series lights. This is a high-low beam, DOT approved. It replaces kind of the run-of-the-mill halogen type bulb or original bulb from back in the day that were in a lot of the cars. So there's a lot of applications for this. They made this to fit into the Rubicon, but it's a really great little unit. Very nicely made, durable, clean, very cool looking. Even the packaging's sweet. 1975 Scout 2 with the 304 V8. You can see I've already done the KC HiLite headlight or headlamp conversion on this side. And tonight I'm going to be walking you through how to do this one. It definitely makes a difference. And I know some Scout purists out there are going to be a little bit mad at me, and I don't blame them. The headlight assemblies do require a little bit of trimming. So I'm basically going to be destroying a set of good headlight assemblies, and they're a couple $100 a piece. But this is a resto mod, and the mod part is that I'm going to have lights that work at night. They do light the night. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take off these bezel bolts. So this is the headlight assembly. So there's just a few bolts that are in here holding this in. And this is already missing a couple of them, so this is going to be real easy. There it is. Undo your plug in the back. And basically what you've got is the headlight assembly, the adjusters. And so what we're going to do is pull the headlight out, or the bulb out, and we'll end up trimming a little bit of this to fit the new bulb. You want to measure this diameter here, and what I'd come up with was about 3.5 inches. And after I did that first one, that ended up being a good measurement. Basically, that's all the material that we're cutting out right there. Enough to clear that housing. All right, so based on that 3.5 inches that you want to clear on the housing, I found something in the shop that was about 3.5 inches, centered it here, took a screwdriver, scribed a line along the outside, and then hopefully you can kind of see that line, and that'll be your guide for the cut on the plasma cutter. All right, so I'm all set up here, ready to make some sparks, except I don't have my helmet. Use a welding helmet for plasma cutting. Just set it on a grind so you can still see. I'm using the titanium plasma 45 Harbor Freight Special. But for how much we do plasma cutting, this works perfect. So gotta get yourself a good ground. The lowest setting is this stuff is just the thinnest there is, and it blows right through it. Here we go. So there we go. There's our piece that we've cut out. I did pretty good. Takes a steady hand for sure, and I'm still working on it, but you get the general idea. A little bit of a cutout there. And now we'll come through with a sanding wheel on a die grinder, clean up those edges real nice. Not that anybody's gonna ever see it, but I like to make it look clean. So while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this retaining ring bezel piece. It's got some rust and a little bit of overspray from great work from the previous owner. So what I'd like to do is just a die grinder with a wire wheel on it. And you know, if you're going for a chrome finish, this probably isn't the way to go, but I'll end up hitting it with some steel wool, and on the outside I'll polish it right up. And steel wool does a great job of polishing up the chrome and removing surface rust. I don't really know what grit this is. Probably one of the medium ones. But you can really polish it up pretty nice so that it's looking pretty good. So this is a sanding barrel. It's just a little attachment. It's a replaceable sanding kind of cylinder that goes on this rubber piece. This is from Harbor Freight. Again, I haven't really tried this before, but like I said, these shop nights where I'm trying new stuff and working on things myself, I'm trying stuff and learning stuff, and these are the things that we're passing on to the kids. So on the first one, this worked really, really well. Of course, I need a battery right in the middle of filming. Kind of see a little bit of the cleanup there. So this goes in here like this. And there's one more thing that we have to line up and test fit. So you'll see that this doesn't come down quite all the way. And what it's doing, I'll show you what it's rubbing on, but I'm gonna make some little scribe marks so I can mark it off and clearance it. But what it's hitting on are these two bolts here, or these kind of bolt bosses. So we're gonna go in and make some notches for those, and then this thing should slide right in. I couldn't see my marks very well, so I'm gonna eye it, pull that out, and come in here and hit this with a Sharpie so that I'm pretty sure I hit the right spot. So basically all it needs is a bit of a clearance like this, and a die grinder like this is perfect. So once again, kind of trying different tools here. On the first headlight, I tried just like a grinding stone. That didn't work. The sanding barrel, they do have a little small one like this. It doesn't go fast enough. This die grinder, it's carbide, it cuts right through it. you can see that it sets right down. Those little tabs are all the way down in their holes there. Very perfect. Not bad for a 1975 50-year-old light bulb. All right, so I'm gonna give you one more look at kind of what we ended up with here. So this is the headlight assembly we were working on. So we did this cut, a big cut, and then you can see these two ears that we put in here. And I wanna zoom in a little bit so you can kind of get an eye for how much metal you had to take off. It's not a lot. So that ended up working pretty well. And so we'll put this back in. I always kind of have to orient myself. The one that's on its own is always at the bottom. The other two are equal length. There we go. All right, now we're ready to put this bezel, or whatever it is. If somebody wants to correct me there, go ahead. I did put a little penetrant on each of these screws because they were not happy about getting undone. Now these are lined up too. Not that way. There we go. Okay, so get all those screws lined up. I don't know if I showed her this very well at the beginning, but basically it's a slot. You just line those screws up with that slot and slide it counterclockwise to lock it in. Sometimes you just have to have the right tool, the right job. Put these little guys in place. Smarter, not harder. All right, tighten those up. Perfect. Should have done this at the beginning, but I figured it's probably a good idea to show you a front too here. So, got the lights on. This is the original bulb. So, that's the original bulb. It's kind of how it would look there, like that. And then this KC LED bulb. And it's got the same exact connector, bolts right up, no relays, no converters. There you go. Very clean. It's on low right now, but it definitely, for being street legal, it's definitely going to work really well. Can't wait to try it at night. All right, I've got the headlight assembly back in. I ended up replacing the stock, very, very old screw, the only one that was left. Like I said, I put this together and I put a couple thousand miles on it, and the other ones rattled out. So I put some self-tappers in there, and I'll end up swapping those out for the correct thing down the road. They make little inserts that go right here, and you can buy those on there's a couple good suppliers for Scout parts, and they still make that hardware. And so I'll probably swap that out for the right way down the road, but that'll be good for now. All right, so I'm gonna put this bezel back on, and if you don't remember how you took it off, these headlight adjusters have, or head assemblies have adjusters here and here, and they line up with these slots. So that's a good way to be able to figure out how this goes back on. Here we go. It doesn't have that classic kind of yellow halogen type of look, but you know what? I like to be able to see at night. And this just really does the trick. Like I said, KC HiLites came up with a good setup. It's not designed for a Scout, but with just a little bit of modification, this thing can really, it's a really good addition. All right, good luck everybody.